Hello, people. How are you?
Hello. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Jahnavi. It's really interesting. We were just talking offline about the fact that how you liked Suits and how you like Donna, but it's really interesting that she's going to be the center stage for this discussion. Um, I just wanted to now that is fairly cryptic, but what we are trying to figure out today is, Johnny Ive has just joined forces with Sam Altman, and all of this is resulting into a third device that is going to come up, which is going to sit on your table along with your phone and your laptop. But this actually tells us something deeper. It tells us that AI is making the leap into physical devices which go beyond your smartphone, and we are going to now come into a place wherein we need to probably reimagine products, and we need to reimagine the stories around those products as well. And I thought this will be a great opportunity for us to take a stab at something which is quite tangible and physical, but something that can be connected to this new and upcoming trend. So what I thought, and we talked about this offline, what I we debated which sector can we look into, and one of the things that we decided was to look at the jewelry sector, right? So do you want to give us the context on this?
Yeah. So whenever I'm talking to Chat GPT, the first thing that comes to my mind is it's a brilliant sparring partner and it's an amazing assistant or a secretary, right? And
Yes.
that takes me back to the Suits age, where if you remember, Benjamin, the IT guy, comes to Donna and says everybody wishes they could say the right thing at the right time, but you're one of the rare people who actually does it. Right, and I think and then they came out with the Donna, the device that could be your secretary in your hand, right?
Yes.
And that's not the only instance that we've seen. If you take Jarvis of Friday from
Yes.
Iron Man, it's AI coming
Similar
into
lines.
the
Yeah.
devices, the physical objects, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, this is an amazing foray into how connecting with the trend of Altman and Ive coming together to bring AI into the physical domain. And now I think we can talk about why we have chosen jewelry as the segment, because
Yeah.
that is something that is prevalent in every woman's life.
Yes.
Be it somebody who likes very ornate kind of jewelries, temple jewelries, or be it your office wear jewelries. Uh, at least one stud is something that every woman and at every age of her life definitely wears.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's talk about why jewelry first.
Okay. So I listen. I do not claim to understand jewelry as much as you do, but what I can certainly say is that if we are able to develop a story along the product,
Yeah,
and it needs to start with a persona. So
right.
if you have to develop any kind of persona for somebody who's using this new device, which is also a piece of jewelry, who and what would that persona be? It's back to you because you need to define this persona for me.
Right. So first of all, it has to be a tech savvy person,
Yeah.
someone of a younger generation, or somebody who's very, interacting with AI day in and day out.
Okay.
So for that, it needs to be somebody who's number one very ambitious. So they need something that's very effective. Helps. They need AI to help them,
Yeah.
not just with day to day tasks, but making their day more effective, more efficient, so they can grow in their professional careers,
Yeah.
grow in their life, right? So for something like that, you come to brands that are not just your home brands or your party wear brands, but something that you wear day in and day out. And
Yeah.
I think for this, a very good example will be the brand Mia by Tanishq.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So Mia has always been positioned as an office wear jewelry. It is a brand that was built to empower women. If you look at the ad campaigns that Mia has run, it is all about the woman in the office force, a woman as in the leadership positions, and a woman in that position always needs to say the right thing at the right time, right? There is all the judgment on a woman in a conference room, so all the spotlight is on you. There are 10 judging eyes on you. So at that on those crucial points to make your point forward, with all the anxiety going on in your head, the panicking, and all those pointers running in your head, and the thousands of sparring going on in your head. Is this effective? Is this what I wanted to say? This is what is in my notes. Do I remember it? Etc. Etc. Now, in that moment, if you have someone in your ear whispering, okay, this is how you should negotiate, this is how you should put your point forward, don't say this, say this, this is this is the meeting setup in line, this is your sales pipeline is like, so you don't have to remember everything at on one go. You don't have to be the Sherlock Holmes mental palace at every given point of time, but there's somebody in your ear guiding you. It's like from goal to guardian, the way we have set up a title.
No, I was just wondering. So I'm just carrying this forward. Can Mia, and I'm going to use Mia as a persona now because
Yeah.
it's just a cool name. So can Mia then actually tell her Donna to shut up for a while? So how does that happen, right? So if now that we are developing a product, it's
Yeah.
yes, the Donna is telling Mia, okay, do this, tell your boss this, tell your client this, etc. And this is the data that you're looking for. And but sometimes Mia wants Donna to shut up. So how does she say shut up to Donna without getting that attention drawn to herself? Is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, so the first thing that needs to be developed is, right now, studs or any kind of earrings is more of something that lies below your earlobe, right?
Hmm.
So it has to be a direct interface within your ear, so that it's only you that's hearing it, and
Got
it's
it.
not everybody in the conference room. So maybe like a flesh extension to the earrings can be something, or internal wiring that
Okay.
can be added. So that's more of a technical challenge. But as when it comes to setting up the wording, so right now, when you talk to chat gpt, or you talk to Perplexity or Claude or whatever, there is a lot of fluff that comes in. If you put in one line, you get 10 lines, out of which 8 are complete nonsense, and
Yeah.
then 2 which is actually something that you can use.
Yeah.
So chat gpt needs to, or any kind of AI, it needs to get trained in a way that it's more effective, that the
Yeah.
two what we say, what we tell the human beings to be an effective manager, say less but say more, say
Mhm.
less but convey more, that is something that AI needs to learn now. This is how the training needs to happen for the
Yeah,
human.
I'm just saying that there will be some challenges for during the training period because imagine you just wearing that and you getting a lot of stuff which is sometimes kind of off target or off track, or sometimes just fluff that we keep getting
Yeah.
from chat gpt in your ear, mind you. That's quite invasive, and
Yeah.
you're like, you just want this inner voice to stop talking because your boss is asking some strange questions to you at that time. So I'm wondering, there is a lot to be developed around the user experience of a product like this.
Yeah.
It's not just a technical capability. I think that there needs to be a person who actually understands the human mind and the way in which it interfaces and collaborates with AI in an auditory perspective, which is, I don't think, has been particularly done so far. So I think that can be a really good
Yeah.
challenge. That
Yeah.
that would be a really good challenge. Okay, so those are the product challenges, and we've made some suggestions on how Mia can, Mia, the brand, of course, can incorporate this kind of product
Yeah.
into doing this. Now,
I'll just before we move on, just one
okay.
thing I'd like to add here. Okay, so right now, whoever is training the AI models, they're mostly engineers, they're mostly designers. Right now,
Mhm.
this is where you bring in psychologists into the picture.
Yeah.
You spoke about the inner voice, right? We all have an invasive inner voice right now.
Mm.
That is our subconscious that is constantly talking, and we are, whenever we are
Yes.
alone, there is always, every 5 minutes we are telling ourselves, please shut up.
Yeah.
So now that needs to be done not to our subconscious but to a wearable device.
My
And
God.
who better to deal with for this scenario than therapists or than behavioral psychologists, people who understand the human mind to its very nitty gritties on where it becomes invasive, where it is, a more of a guiding voice, and where it's more of, just creating chaos into the order.
Before mobile phones came with their ear plugs, what if you saw a man talking to himself on the street, you'd think crazy man. Okay. But the fact is that almost everybody's talking to themselves almost on the street nowadays. So it is kind of acceptable human behavior. Yes, people who understand the human psyche would be very useful. And then you need somebody to translate that human psyche understanding into some product spec, which is useful. It will be challenging, but it will be such an exciting challenge to solve. How would you go about the marketing of this? How would you market Donna to Mia?
Uh, so first of all, the biggest marketing proposition is, boss, you have no other choice. This is the future.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay.
Right. But coming, I mean, let's be on topic. So for Mia, the biggest proposition is, this is what enables the women of tomorrow, which is your persona, which is your target persona. Your women of tomorrow don't just need a Calendly update. They don't just need a Microsoft Teams. They need something that, every moment empowers them to go to that leadership position. Your campaign has always been about women in the leadership positions. This is what enables women to go from being an average Joe, to actually be somebody who can lead the company, saying the right thing at the right time, using the right strategies at the right time. And when there is a lot of pressure on you, it's very easy to blank out.
Yeah.
So people who blank out don't generally make to the leadership positions. That's a fact, be it a man or a woman.
I'll tell you from a storytelling perspective that will have a couple of challenges. Challenge
Yeah,
number one is it will, if some man or some, the men's club in an office, they understand that, oh, women are now using Mia and stuff like that. They can't do stuff on their own and stuff like that. So there can be a counter narrative that hits this product and this persona in a very bad way. So there is certainly that challenge to the storyline, and I'm wondering whether we can overcome that challenge by addressing it, saying that men will be saying this but they're not smart enough to use this or something like that, because
yeah,
and then you can actually literally have a campaign saying how men don't ask for directions when they're driving, even though Google Maps is there, and stuff like that. So you could have a lot of fun with it, to be honest.
yeah. So
But
it's like men have their cigar lounge and women have their diamond club.
yeah, no, but I think that from a product perspective, maybe you need to take a test drive out for a product like this, and just kind of train it in private for maybe a few weeks before you actually start wearing it to office, and
Yeah,
or a professional place, because it is really critical for you to have a great rapport between yourself and your Donna, if you may. So there needs to be a really good way. Maybe just tapping on the wrist or something should be able to, or just touching your ear should be able to shut down up if you want to. So
yeah,
these are the sort of haptics, and these are the sort of signals that you might want to have in a product like this. But
yeah.
this is so exciting.
and,
What
and honestly, it's not just, it's limited to women. Now if you have an ear wearable jewelry, so why just limited to jewelry? Mia can actually come up with segments for men.
Hmm.
Right now it's just Bluetooth, which is a very bland device. You have objects like watches, which are majorly a um, masculine showcase, right? So Mia can actually come up with products that are primarily for men. It could just be an entire line for men. So it won't be a male versus female kind of a narrative. It'll be your go-to devices, your go-to aesthetics becoming your go-to devices, basically.
That's so well put. I think there's a story there. There's certainly a story there. I just think, however, that if you put it on your wrist, or if you put it around your neck, it's not auditory. So we need to understand how the input is going to go and how you're
Yeah.
collaborating
And
with.
that's a similar challenge that is going to happen with jewelry also, because in any case, even that's an external accessory.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind getting my ears pierced or something if it's going to augment my intelligence. I'm just saying. I wouldn't care two hoots. I think that the key aspect would be to figure out whether men can join in the ride. And I personally have not seen any tech-driven product marketed exclusively for women. Uh,
Yeah.
And I'm not talking of the Bumble app or anything of that sort. I mean, that's not
That
what.
is actually more of a narrative change that happened. Bumble was never made specifically for one
Yeah.
particular gender. It was made as a safe app,
Safer space,
as
yes.
an alternative to Tinder. It was an easier narrative to position it to women. But
Correct.
you're very right. Tech has always been positioned as a boys' club. So
Maybe it's time to change that narrative.
yeah, and if a company can bring in tech specifically for women, that is going to be a revolutionary product in itself.
Yeah, I hope Tanishk, Mia, Donna, whoever else are hearing, and if you want a storyteller or two to help you out, baking it into the product, and call Janavi, and maybe you can call me too. All right. On that happy note, wonderful conversation, Janavi. Wonderful conversation. Let's see each other on Thursday.
Yep. See you
All right.
then.
See ya. Bye.
Okay. Bye, guys.